It's not always fun and games for first responders.
05 Central, you show me in pursuit.
But sometimes it is.
Oh my God, he's not wearing pants again.
Sometimes it's dangerous.
Flipping around, look out, look out, look out.
Sometimes it's not.
Antler Boulevard for a snake in a house.
And sometimes it's just plain stupid.
Chihuahua in his lap on a lawnmower. You'd be heavily
This
intoxicated.
is the stupid side of first response.
Dispatch, do I really have to go to that?
This is Code 0.5.
Come in 0.5.
Hey guys, Jason again with my co-host Rich.
What it is.
And this is Victory Brand Studios, where we're burr.
Okay. Get
Yeah.
it out of your system.
Freaking words are out in front of my brain or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, we're in Victory Brand Studios. Before we were talking about, hey, what are we going to, mention this time? What's the theme going to be? And we were like, man, I don't know. So I was trying to think of stuff, inattentive driving. And then I called my wife and was like, hey, is there anything that I've dealt with recently that was stupid or anything that I've done that's stupid? And she's like, no, not really. And I was like, man, what can I think? So maybe we'll just go with like inattentive driving. And I was like, wait a minute. Our last episode, we talked about how the wives will rip into us and think it's all funny. Maybe it's our time to air some of that stuff out.
Oh, Lord.
Because she had some funny things happen that I've never talked about.
Oh, yeah?
Like her nose area
Mm-hmm.
is like prone to damage.
Now, let's just remember, with whatever you're going to talk about, you
Yeah.
will pay for this when she gets home.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Just so we're...
This is the things I'm willing to do for entertainment purposes.
I warned you. Tasha, I warned him.
Do you keep things on top of your refrigerator?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what do you keep up there?
I don't know, stuff she don't need to get to. If she can't.
Yeah. Well, like on top of mine, we have we've got like mixers, and then I've got like 4 or 5 bottles of alcohol up there.
Crap, so heavy stuff?
Yeah.
Trying to take her out, man. I was talking about, like, I don't know, the art supplies and crap I don't want her getting to because it'll be all over the place.
Nope. One day, and what I'm fixing to talk about is like, I guess they do all the bottles in this in milliliters or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This is like 100 or 150 milliliter glass bottle.
So, big boy?
And, well, it wasn't really that big. I mean, it was smaller than that Coke bottle, that
Okay.
16-ounce Coke bottle.
Okay.
Anyway, she's trying to get some Ziploc bags off the top of there, or aluminum foil or something.
Why y'all keep y'all's foil up there?
I have no idea. That's just where it ended up one day, and that's just where it stays.
Yikes.
But she reaches up there to get it, and like, I don't know what happened, but she hit this glass bottle, and it comes down and smacks her either right between the eyes or on her nose. I can't remember. It was right in that area.
Oh,
And I hear her, and usually if Tasha is like screaming in the kitchen, it's usually like she's caught something on fire or because she's trying to cook or something.
right.
So I go in there, and she was cooking dinner at the time. And when I get there, she's got blood just coming down her face. And I'm like, oh, holy hell, And so I go and look, and I'm like, yeah, we need to go. She's had to get stitches.
Damn.
Yeah. So we drive to the ER. We go in there, and she still to this day will brag. This doctor that helped her was an older guy, but she was like, he did the best sutures and all, and he was so good. And I was like, okay, whatever. I don't know what he's doing. Just, run the little hook thing through it and tie
Fix
it off, call it good.
Just fix it.
So we're in there in the room, and we're waiting. And, like when we left, she had just put something in the oven or whatever, or had taken it out. And we're in the room waiting for her to get her stitches, and one of the kids calls. So I was like, okay, kid's calling to, hey, how's mom and all this. And I can't remember which kid it was. I think it was one of the boys that said, hey, do we need to wait on you guys to get back, or can we eat?
Mm.
And Tasha's like, well, y'all don't have to wait. I guess if you want to, you can go ahead and eat. Okay, thanks, bye, click. Doesn't even ask how she's doing.
Wow. Okay.
And she gets off the phone. She's like, well, I see where I rank with my kids. And I was like, what do you mean? And she tells me about it. And I'm like, damn, that's savage.
Yeah.
So, and this was like, I think this was last year, at least a year ago that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Last week, we go to one of the kids' wrestling duels.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're at the house waiting because every single duel that he's had starts at 7 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a makeup duel. And they're like, okay, we'll be there at 7. Well, she gets a text message at like 6:15, 6:20. And it's like, hey, where are you at? Well, we're at home. Why? Well, the duel started like 20 minutes ago. What do you mean? It's not 7 o'clock. For some reason, they started at 6 instead of 7.
That's jacked up.
So we jump up in the car and take off. And usually when he wrestles, it's usually like the 5th or 6th match.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get there like 30 minutes late, it'll probably be the time that he's wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
We hurry up and drive over there. Well, as we get to the school and as we're walking into the gym has a big glass entry. There's 2 doors on either side. And then in between those doors are 2 big panes of glass that have metal frames around them.
Okay.
Well, the frames run down to the ground and then go back up. It might be the same height as the doors next to it, maybe a little taller.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's talking to me about something. I can't remember what we were talking about. And she goes up the steps, and I remember looking at her, and I'm like, why is she swinging way out wide like that? The door's over here.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like slow motion after that. And she walks up, she's talking, and I see her and see what's about to happen, and I can't spit the words out. I'm wanting to say stop or no. And she walks right into that door and face plants it.
Plow.
I mean, hits it hard.
She sleep herself?
And she, no, she turns around and looks at me. And the first thing she says is, are my teeth still there? And I was like, yeah, your teeth are there, but your nose is busted and you're bleeding. And she's like, oh my gosh, what do I, and I was like, here, just go into the bathroom and, get a paper towel or something. And she goes in there. Well, as she's walking in, she stops and then looks at me and she goes, people are going to think you hit me. And I was like, who gives a crap what people think? Just go in there and, get that taken care of. Well, as she's walking in, people see the blood and all, and they're like, oh my gosh, what happened? And I was like, did y'all not see it? And she's not hearing what I'm saying to these people. Mm-hmm. And they're like, no, what happened? And I was like, she walked up and face planted that glass right there. And the lady and I was like, look, and we walked out and looked and you can see like the oils from her face or whatever are stuck on the glass where she freaking face planted that thing.
Oh.
So, of course, she goes and tells the athletic director, and he comes over and asks if she needs a bag of ice. And she's like, well, we have a trainer here and they can come and look at it. And she was like, no, that's okay. And he's like, are you sure? Because we have a trainer. And my wife was like, no. She's like, I'm a nurse. It's okay. I don't need a trainer. And she told me later, and she goes, if anybody's going to come look at this, I'd have another nurse, not some trainer, and she goes on her spill and all that. And anyway, we get in there and we sat down, and my dad, he's there watching, and he looks and he was like, what in the hell? So we tell him what happened. And of course he doesn't give much reaction because he's figured out how accident prone she is. Mm-hmm. So we're sitting there and she's like, we just need to go and we'll watch his match real quick. And then when it's done, we'll go because and you could tell she was swollen. She had already started to get a couple black eyes, and she's like,
she hit that hard.
Yes. And, she was like, I'm hurting. She goes, we'll just watch his match, and then when it's over with, we'll go back home. I was like, okay. So we're sitting there. Well, then his weight comes up, and he walks out to the mat. And after he does, the official, the referee or whatever, grabs his hand and then raises it, and then he walks off.
Oh.
He had a forfeit. The opponent didn't have anyone in his weight class, so he didn't wrestle anyway.
Oh.
And she was like, I flew all the way down here, face planted that wall over there for nothing. I was like, sure. So we drive home, and I get her home, and she lays down on the couch, and I bring her some like Tylenol and ibuprofen and a bag of ice, and oh yeah.
She baby bird it?
Oh yeah. And I was like, well, what do you want to eat? I'll go get you something. And of course she asked for her favorite thing, meat, bread, and pickles. Yeah. And so I run to town. Well, I go and stop at the dollar store, and I get some of that Neosporin that has a stuff that like helps prevent scars.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that, and I get some kind of bandage. And while I'm in there, a relative of mine walks in who actually works for the school.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, and I posted on Facebook the picture because she was laughing and stuff. And I didn't think she was hurting at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was hurting later, and I felt bad. And I was like, I need to take this down. My relative comes up to me and she's like, did she walk into that glass that's like right next to the door? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, I've worked a bunch of basketball games, and I'll sit there, and you would be amazed at how many people walk into that glass. And I was like, really? And she goes, yeah, it's gotten so bad that we've asked the lady that cleans it to stop cleaning it so well, so people will know that there's a barrier right there and you can't walk through it.
They need to put a sign on it or something, or like, you know what I'm saying, this way to door or something.
Or maybe do like an acid etch into the glass, something on there
something
where
so you
people
can
know
see.
that it's there.
Jeez. It's like those, what is it, that Windex commercial where those birds were flying in and hitting the ground?
That's exactly it. It's exactly what happened.
Jeez.
And so, yeah, I go in there and and she loves Dr. Pepper. And of course, I find some kind of chocolate for her, and I bring her all this stuff and, try to baby her or whatever. But I was telling her, I was like, you know what's going to be really bad? And she's like, what? And I was like, if you have to sneeze. And she was like, why did you say that? Because you know how sometimes you'll hear it and then it just triggers and then it happens or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it wasn't that night. It was actually the next day she sneezed, and I heard her over there going, oh, my God. And she just recently, she used to always wear glasses. She's wearing contacts now.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine if she'd have face planted that wearing her glasses?
Oh, man, that'd have split her open.
Yeah, them things
That'd have
probably
got
would have cut her up.
At least mine's not the only one that's accident prone. Because, dude, it's like all the time. But mine, she gets into things. Like, she'll be outside messing with 2x4s and stuff. There's one time she about knocked herself out trying to take apart some 2x4s, and she was bruised. Like, her whole cheekbone is still messed up. But the recent one, I told you about the chicken bouillon, didn't I?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard the 2x4 to the face thing.
Oh, yeah.
God dang,
that
man,
was
she's
bad.
tough.
Yeah.
God dang.
I'm surprised. Like, she was seeing stars. She was all tweet when she came in. Dude. She was. I was like, "What is wrong with you?" She just looked dazed, and then she told me what happened. And at first, it didn't register, and then it was like, "Wait, what? You did what?" And then it started swelling, and she still got a spot from where it got her. Like, you can't even like kiss her on that side of the face because it's still tender. I think she
So tender is a trigger or something.
dude, I think she cracked her cheekbone. She hit hard. But that bouillon, she was trying to cook something, and somebody took her to Sam's, and whoever that is, I want to kick their ass because she's discovered, dude, we've got like those 50 count of chips. We've got those. And I'm like, what are we going to do with that?
Yeah.
Like, we're not a concession stand, but I don't know, but she found this giant thing of chicken bouillon powder, and before it was never even ever thought of, but now that crap has got to go in everything we eat because she bought a freaking metric 55-gallon barrel of the shit. Things that shouldn't even have it in it. Everything can be made better with chicken bouillon powder, apparently. But she went to go open it, and she couldn't peel. There's nothing on the top of it to get the inner seal off. So she tried digging at it with her fingernails, and she couldn't get it. So then she gets the bright idea to grab it and try to get it with her teeth. Well, the seal went, and when it did, it put this cloud of powder up, and she had breathed it in. Dude, it was like getting hit with a pepper ball in there. For one, there was a fog of bouillon powder. So my eyes were watering trying to get to her. It was bad. But no, man, she was down for a cool minute trying to catch her breath. And then it's been like 4 days. And it started, first she was just coughing and said everything was burning and stuff. The next morning she woke up and sounded like she had freaking got pneumonia. And then she started hacking at work and almost passed out. It's been bad, dude.
Damn.
Yeah, bouillon powder will mess you up.
What, to weaponize that?
Yeah,
shit?
that's what I was just thinking. Some way to weaponize it.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. Because then, I wouldn't, after hitting, you know how you hit them with OC spray?
Oh yeah.
And then even after like 30 minutes later, you put them in your unit with you and it's still,
Oh man,
yeah.
this stuff is nasty. It's got apparently it's got, she found the MSDS for it. Apparently it's got like silicone dioxide in it.
We'll have more coming up on Code 0.5.
If you're looking for a political podcast that goes beyond the headlines, check out the Beltway Briefing. I'm Howard Schweitzer, CEO of Cozen O'Connor Public Strategies. Every week on the Beltway Briefing, our team of former Republican and Democratic presidential appointees, Capitol Hill veterans, and political advocates shares behind-the-scenes perspective that cuts through the noise. If you want the inside scoop, subscribe now to the Beltway Briefing here or wherever you get your podcasts.
Isn't that the crap that like helps keep it dry or whatever?
I guess.
Stir out or something.
But in its MSDS, it says that like if it becomes released in the factory, like in cloud form, they're supposed to exit the building, and you're supposed to enter wearing like gloves and respirators and goggles and to clean it up.
And she's just over here inhaling it.
Oh, dude, she won't even look at that can. She's looked at it a lot because she found the MSDS for it.
She gets it and then realizes it could kill her.
Oh yeah. If you want to mess somebody up, if they're in your house, forget a gun. Forget a gun. That'll just end it too quick for them. If you want to mess them up, keep you an industrial sized can of the bouillon powder where you can fling it and just fling it at them. They'll regret every life choice they have ever made.
Have you ever heard one of the scariest things that I've ever heard my wife say, and I don't know if you've ever heard this before, is where's your drill?
Oh,
or where's your saw? And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. What are you doing?
That. We're way beyond that.
Well, she doesn't even ask, just goes and gets it.
And then when she comes in, she'll mess with it until she gets frustrated, and she'll be like, how do you start the chainsaw? What? I thought you were feeding chickens. Well, I was. And there's a branch in there. I was like, you can get that with a Sawzall. No, I need the whole top off. It's too much shade. They're getting cold. Like, yeah, this chickens live better than I do. But yeah, we're escalated past drills and stuff. Sawzall, that's kitty stuff to her.
Well, have you ever had the see, she came storming in the house one day, and I'm like, what the heck's she all ticked off about? And then I hear keys jangling in the bedroom. I'm like, what the hell? And I get up and go, and she's putting the key into the safe, and she's like, where's your gun at? And I'm like, and then I start thinking, okay, what have I done recently? And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like that day that her corgi got like chased or bit or whatever by that stray that's around my house. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she come in the house. Where's the gun at? I'm like, no, what are you doing?
Yeah, if she comes in there asking for a gun, something serious. I remember when her rooster got her. She was pretty hot.
Oh, yeah.
She was mad. That thing was going one way or the other.
I was at a guy's house one time, and he come in the house, and I guess he went out to go get eggs or something, and he come back in, and he had like blood on his legs or something, and I was like, what the hell happened to him? And then he goes into his room and then comes back out and he's carrying a shotgun. And I was like, what the hell? And as he's walking out the door, he goes, I've had enough of that effing rooster. He goes outside and then the next thing, boom.
Yeah. Nothing but feathers.
Yeah. I was like, well, so much for that.
That'd be nothing but feet. Just feet where it was standing if you got a rooster with a freaking shotgun.
You know what? Now is when we need to be hollering at our listeners and be like, hey, what all craziness has your wives attempted or have pulled off that y'all have been like, what in the hell is going on? They need to comment on like our Facebook post or whatever that's tied to this.
Oh, we could do a whole show easily on that. Like just on a little segue, just kind of off topic show day or whatever.
Yeah.
We should put that together.
Oh, hell, even some guys that we know just be like, if y'all want to get on here, come on in. We'll do it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's been some interesting things.
No, I was, this really didn't apply to her. She's the one that the reason it happened. But my daughter's light wasn't working out right. And Holly wanted a ceiling fan in there. So we go get the ceiling fan and stuff. And I start this at like 3:30. So I'm up on the ladder and I pull the old thing down, and you know I'm being super smart because I'm not gonna go kill the breaker. I'm just leaving the switch off. So I'm up there taking stuff apart, and I get the new mount for the ceiling fan and everything. You get the little motor swinging and stuff, and I'm doing my thing. Well, the kids come in from school, and I climb up there, and I've got wires in my hand, like wire nutting, like twisting wires, and then putting wire nuts on. And Riley comes in there, and she flips the switch on me, just out of habit, just flips the switch, zapped the shit out of me, dude. There was a pow, and I came off the ladder, and she's like, "Oh, dude!" You thought she killed me. She was so sorry. Of course, all it did was really startled me. But she thought I was done because that flash of light, and that was it. I was at a Juice WRLD concert, done. But no.
Have you ever done anything where you're up like cleaning the fan and then somebody comes and hits the switch and the fan blade comes and whacks you in the head?
No.
Yep, done that one.
Thinking you're slick and can stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. No. I was on the roof of a store one time. It was a no cooling call. And I was checking, and I didn't have any power, so I'm checking the fuse. Like, nope, yep, fuse is blown. And I could see a storm rolling in. I was on the roof, and I could see it. So I'm trying to beat it. So I run back down, and I grab the fuse, and I get back up there. Instead of changing one, I'm just going to change all of them. So I'm freaking grabbing them, bam, grab it, bam. And I grab the last one, and I'm grabbing them with channel locks because they were the big boy fuses,
Yeah.
And I'm grabbing them with channel locks, and I pull, and it's hung up. I was like, get up. And I go to grab it. That son bitch was still live, dude. I lit myself up. I was like, stupid.
Yeah, all because I got in a hurry.
I got in a hurry.
Yeah, that's it. It seems like every time that's when it happens, when you're in a hurry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can get on to my traffic stuff.
What do you got?
And then we'll call it good because, believe it or not, I don't have a stupid criminal.
Really?
Yeah. I lost where I'd saved it. I don't know what happened to it. And it was a decent one. And apparently, like, it was about a guy that broke into a house, and then he said something when they went to trial. He was in court, and he said that you can't charge me for burglary or something because what I'd done was during the day. It wasn't at night.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up nailing him for it. But what he had found was in some states, burglary says it has to occur at night or whatever for something, for whatever he was getting charged with, but that's not what he was getting charged with. He ended up incriminating himself.
Nice.
But we're not attorneys, and this ain't legal advice. This is in Oklahoma, and I actually had somebody do this. Somebody did this to I believe it was a deputy on one of these, but it's throwing or dropping objects on or at a moving vehicle.
Oh, driving down the road and chucking a slushie at the windshield.
It doesn't even have to hit the vehicle. It just has to be, at its direction. It says no person shall willfully throw or drop any substance at a moving vehicle or any occupant thereof. It also says no person shall willfully throw or drop any object from a bridge or overpass with the intent to damage any property or injure any person.
Ooh.
Any violation of subsection, those last two that I read to you, shall be deemed a felony.
Dang.
And upon conviction shall be punishable by imprisonment in the Department of Corrections for no more than 10 years.
Damn.
It can't exceed a fine of $10,000. Yeah, it happened to a cop a few years ago.
Really?
Yeah, and whatever, I can't remember what they dropped. It was like a brick or something, and it went through the windshield of whatever unit that was, and this person got convicted for it.
Was it a pumpkin? I think I remember that.
I can't remember what it was, but whatever it was, it went through the windshield.
Yeah. Well, I know there was a thing going around a while back. It's been some years ago, but the kids were running around, and they would get those freaking, pretty good sized slushies, and they would drive past and they would chuck it at the other windshield of the car, and slushy at 50 miles an hour will just splatter a windshield. No, not splatter. I mean, spider web it. It's done.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Slushy will do some damage. If you didn't know, we should weaponize that.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah. Get a slushy launcher.
So yeah, don't be throwing crap at cars while they're moving.
No, that's pretty serious.
But could you imagine though, you throw something at a car and then hit the windshield, they can't see, and then bam,
Yeah.
like they hit somebody and kill them or whatever.
Oh yeah.
that person that caused that, they're the ones going to get charged with that.
Oh, yeah.
Not the person driving. But anyway, that's going to be our episode for today. I know it's a little something different, but we're going to get out of here.
Yep. Later.
Renix is on his way. Gotta run.
You have been listening to Code 0.5, the lighter side of police work. If you have ideas or suggestions for our show, we'd love to hear from you. Visit our website at code05.co. That's code05.co. And please consider making a donation at our Patreon page, patreon.com/code05. Be sure to use the digits 05. Thanks for listening to Code 0.5.